Melik Abdul is here, radio host. He worked for the Bush 43 White House, and Robert Patillo, civil rights attorney and radio host. Gentlemen, good to see both of you. Robert, start with you. I think this does come down to fairness. What do people view as fair?
Absolutely. And if you think about the fact that on July the 9th of 1868, the 14th Amendment was passed in the wake of America's bloodiest war, the Civil War. And the express interest of that amendment was to provide equity to African Americans who had previously been enslaved. Today...
Equity or equality?
Equity and equality. And the point is that today the Supreme Court used that same amendment to strip rights away from African Americans on this conceptualization, the judicially created conceptualization that they can create a colorblind society. Now look, the Supreme Court has decided 25,500 cases in its history. Only 250 have been overturned by the court, this being one of them, less than 1%. This court has clearly decided that they will be legislating from the bench. They will throw away stare decisis, they will throw away the concept of precedents, they will create their own law from the bench as they deem necessary. This was a decision in search of a case, not a case that was decided by the court.
Well, obviously, I disagree with Robert. What the Supreme Court did here, and you guys actually played it in your beginning, this was an issue of fairness. So, for instance, the Asian Americans. So if affirmative action, and I think many people would say that affirmative action, if you actually look at the numbers, white women are the largest beneficiaries of affirmative action. The question here is affirmative action about minorities or the disenfranchised, or is it just about black people? I think the response to this, and even Justice Brown Jackson, she even pointed out, if you actually listen to what she was saying, that she was solely focused on race. Under affirmative action, Hispanic Americans benefit from affirmative action, women, obviously, African Americans, so different groups. What the Harvard case was about is that, as you saw, that there were different metrics that Asian Americans, because so for instance, there were things like personality tests, that didn't necessarily fit within the model. And so you have many of these instances where affirmative action, and many people across the board,
Doesn't this get at a larger issue, though? And I hate to interrupt, but the ruling basically said that diversity is no longer a compelling interest to overturn or to go beyond the Equal Protection Clause. It says we have to treat everybody equally based on race. This wasn't a compelling interest. And what I'm trying to wonder is that if there is a mistake here, now especially, as we've seen various minority groups have wildly different experiences within their own minority group, if rather than going for diversity of race, we don't need to be looking at diversity of experience, because if you read the majority opinion, this is Justice Roberts, Chief Justice Roberts, ways to get around affirmative action, all of these things that can play, college essays, test optional admissions policies, zip codes, household income, on and on and on, that they can take into account so that you get a diversity of actual experiences rather than just, hey, this African-American kid who went to a very rich prep school and comes from a wealthy family, he gets in over the underprivileged Asian kid by dint of race.
But
go ahead.
But real quick, they put in an exception for military academies. They recognize the value and the importance of military academies for having diversity, for racial diversity, because they understand that in order to get black people to come catch all these bullets for us, we are going to have black folks in leadership.
We have to have black officers. It's a good point.
But hey, look, if y'all want to read, y'all doing too much reading. Then we're catching the bullets fine, reading not so much.
Yeah,
it's a good. I don't know how you get around the military exception.
Well, sure, there are exceptions. I think the larger thing that we should be looking at, if you're talking about admissions, college admissions, we know historically black colleges and universities actually graduate the largest number of black people other than, predominantly white institutions. This is an issue about elite institutions. This isn't an issue of black people not being able to access certain schools. These are elite schools. And the question is, should we, because we want rights for black Americans, and many of us who've actually been in this country, we know the history of race in this country, but should you exclude, or should Asian Americans be disparately impacted by the policies? That's the question of affirmative action. It's not just about black people.
All right. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.